the walkover. Week 7, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Jets, primetime Sunday Night Football. We're here. I won't lie to you, it's quiet. It's early and it's quiet, but traffic is so crazy that I do not expect it to be a quiet football game here on the North Shore. And thankfully, this is a good game because primetime started out with a bang this year with the Ravens and the Chiefs, but since then has most certainly slowed down. There's been some pretty boring football games. This is a big one, and it's as big as you could get. And headline-wise, I mean, can you get any better than this one? I mean, you have the reunion. 3 years, 1 Achilles, but Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, they're back together, and they're going to kick things off round 2. 2 future Hall of Famers get a second chance with each other in New York, and that'll start in Pittsburgh. Thank you. And then on the other side of this, the city of Pittsburgh has been waiting all week, 5 days, for one phrase. And that one phrase is coming tonight. Steelers Nation, let's ride. Russell Wilson makes his debut as the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. And there are questions that come with this because obviously everybody wants to know, is there a leash? How good does Russell Wilson have to look? What if Russell Wilson doesn't look good? Why did Mike Tomlin make this decision in the first place? Well, let's answer some questions. Is there a leash? Well, Mike Tomlin, like I just said, made this decision, and he made it by himself. And the reason he made it by himself is because people like comfort, and the Steelers and their coaches and their players understood that, well, you're a 4-2 football team, your offense is not terrible, and your quarterback has 2 turnovers this season. That's pretty good. In any other year, with any other backup quarterback, you are not even considering a change. So that ties into things, but just like Russell Wilson's, or Justin Fields, last game in Vegas, where he had an opportunity to shut the door and say, this is my job, Russell Wilson has that same opportunity here tonight against the New York Jets. Because he could walk in here and say, Mike, you were right. You knew what you were talking about. You made it happen. I am the quarterback, and things should not change. Or he could have a mediocre performance, and the Steelers could have questions on Monday, and the door remains open because you are waiting to find out if Russell Wilson was the right answer, or if you jumped the gun a little bit and maybe made a decision that you understand the premise of. You want to see what both guys are. Russell Wilson was the guy you believe was the answer coming in here, so you have to give him an opportunity, but it just didn't work out the way that you thought it would. Wanted to see if it could. So you go back to Justin Fields. Because I don't know what the leash is. The leash gets determined tonight. If Russell Wilson plays lights out, this is his team, this is his offense, then the leash is as long as potentially this season, or at least until you are on the verge of missing the playoffs and are desperate to make a quarterback change. And on the other side of this, if he plays well, then the leash is long enough that you can keep going until it is very clear you should not be the guy and that you have to go back to the kid that got you to 4-2 in the first place and had a pretty good team. Questions get answered tonight. There are a lot of them. There's some good ones. But to be honest with you, I'm just as excited as Mike Tomlin is to see what Russell Wilson can do, because there is potential. And you have to look at it and say, Russ was the guy for this offense. And Russ finished last season strong. And Russ is a guy that the Steelers had a lot of faith in. Maybe that all works out. Maybe we get to see it here tonight. Maybe Mike Tomlin was right. He's got a resume that tells you sometimes he is. So we'll see what happens. It's getting busier as you get closer to the stadium. I imagine tonight is going to be absolutely nuts. Week 7, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Jets, Steelers Nation. Let's ride.